All right, so now we're going to get ready to do some factoring by grouping, okay? I want you to note that even though I'm doing it on what looks like the worksheet is really not enough space to do factoring by grouping. I recommend you use some scrap paper, and in particular for the first three, you can put those on the example page that goes right before the steps page. All right, so let's break this down together. First thing I'm checking for, is there a GCF of all the terms? There isn't. 8 looked like it would have worked, but it doesn't work for R. Cool. Next, do I have 4 more terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got that. Perfect. So next, if I have 4 more terms, then my next step is, can I break these terms into equal size groups? Sure, I can. Break it down the middle like this. What's my GCF of this side now? I'm on the GCF of each group. Well, between 8 and 64 is going to be 8. Skip a space to the right, I put 8. Then R cubed, then R squared. I got to use the lower exponent, so it's R to the second power. Then I open my parentheses and I'm dividing by 8R to the second power. So if you notice, this is just factor the GCF all over again. 8 over 8 is 1. R cubed over R squared is going to give me R. 64 over 8 or negative 64 over 8 is going to give me negative 8. And I know the R squared is canceled out to give me a 1. Now over here, on the right side, the GCF is 1. In the past, when the GCF was 1, we wouldn't write anything. But now it's important to take that 1 and put a +1. Then we're going to divide by 1, and we're going to get R minus 8. Got it. So then now, look what happens. This is the same thing we was doing on the previous page. We recognize that our box is what? R minus 8. So I'm going to do it step by step. I'm treating the R minus 8 like a GCF, but you know, for the most part, you don't have to do all of this. You can just go straight to the shortcut. So I treat my R minus 8 like a GCF. This cancels to give me a 1, and then I'm going to leave with 8R squared. And then this also cancels to give me a 1, and I'm left with +1. But as I've said before, the shortcut is you take that R minus 8, common parentheses, bring it down, just one of them, and then whatever is outside the parentheses is what's going to be in your second parentheses. All right, let's do some more examples. 2. Check for GCF of all terms. None. If you're not sure, you can use the math number 9 on your calculator. 4 more terms, sure. I'm going to break it down the middle. You'll notice for this class, the majority of the factoring by grouping is always going to be 4 terms split into 2. But in real life, it can be more. It can be 6 terms split into 2 or 6 terms split into 3 groups of 2. It can vary, okay? So over here, I'm factoring out the GCF of this side. 12 and 21 is going to be 3. Skip a space to the left. I put 3. P cubed and P squared. It's going to be P to the second. And I'm going to divide by that. 12 over 3 is going to give me 4. P cubed over P squared is going to give me P. Negative 21 over 3 is going to give me -7. And I know that these are canceling. On the right side, greatest common factor between these is going to be 7. So I put the +7. A quick note, easy way to find the GCF if you're ever unsure is you take this term, and then you divide it by the 4P, and it always gives you the GCF over here. 28P divided by 4P gives you 7. And that's my GCF. Then you're going to get 4P here minus 7. At this stage, your parentheses should always be the same. If they're not, then you got to double check one of your GCFs. From here, we're going to have 4P minus 7, which is my common parentheses. And my other parentheses is going to be these 2 terms on the outside. 3P squared plus 7. Let's try another one. Let's push down. I want to try one a little bit more difficult for this last one. Let's do this one, okay? This one here, numbers seem a little bit bigger. We're going to work through it. All right. Now, my first step is I actually did a math rap on this one, so you could check the freestyle that I did for this question. But the first step is I'm going to check for a GCF. And this one actually does have a GCF. It has a GCF of 5. So I'm going to skip a space and I'm going to put the 5 on the outside. And I'm factoring out that 5 like I would do any GCF. Divide each term by that. This one's going to come out to 21 n to the third power plus this is going to be 35 n squared minus 15 n and then minus 25. Cool. Then from here, I'm going to break it down the middle. But what I always want to do is whenever you factor out a GCF out of the whole thing, this is real important. Bring that GCF all the way down to the end. The key to that is so that you don't forget it because it is part of the whole answer. Then over here, I'm going to find my GCF of this side between 21 and 35 is going to be 7. And again, you can use your math number 9 for that. They both have an n, so the lowest exponent is n to the second power. And then I divide. 21 divided by 7 is 3, and then 35 divided by 7 is going to give me 5, and the n squareds cancel out. Over here, if you start with a positive and the middle is a negative, I want you to use a negative GCF. The reason being is because you want to make sure that both parentheses are the same. So over here, my GCF is going to be -5. And I divide by -5. I divide by -5. 3n plus 5. Please note, if I had divided by +5, I would have got negatives inside here, and my parentheses wouldn't be the same. But since they are, we know the shortcut. I bring down my 3n plus 5. Notice the 5 that I brought down from earlier. And then I bring down my 2 outsides in my other parentheses. Yeah, and that's it. Factoring by grouping.